everyone, good morning. You have reached the Human K channel. Today, we'll talk about the important things that B.F. Skinner, a well-known psychologist, has done. Skinner's work was mostly about how outside things affect how people act. Skinner's childhood in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, had a big impact on how he saw the world. He was raised by parents who worked hard and taught him how to act right. His mother taught him to be afraid of God, the cops, and the opinions of other people. His father, on the other hand, taught him the truth about how criminals act. Let's start by looking at how his childhood shaped his ideas. Skinner didn't think of personality as a different thing, and he looked for the causes of behavior outside of the organism. He said that because mental and physical processes can't be seen, they have nothing to do with science. Instead, Skinner looked at behavior and the things outside of the person that affected it. Skinner made a distinction between respondent behavior, which is a reaction to something in the environment, and operant behavior, which is a response to something that happens after it. He said that actions can be managed by the positive or negative reinforcement that comes after them. Skinner came up with the idea of shaping, which is also called repeated approximation. This is when you reinforce behaviors that get closer and closer to what you want. When it comes to conditioning behavior, reinforcement plans like fixed interval, fixed ratio, variable interval, and variable ratio are very important. Skinner's ideas about changing behavior were used to solve problems in the real world. Behaviors that were wanted were rewarded, while behaviors that were not wanted were ignored. One method that worked well was the token economy. People who did good things got tokens, which they could then trade for things they liked. Also, Skinner came up with 4 key ways to control yourself: avoiding stimuli, self-administered satiation, unpleasant stimulation, and self-reinforcing yourself. Each method gives us the power to change how outside events affect how we act. Let's look at each one in turn. Stimulus avoidance is when we get rid of outside things that stop us from acting the way we want to. For instance, if a loud roommate makes it hard to study, we can go somewhere quieter, like the library. By avoiding the things that make us lose focus, we can get back in charge of our actions. Alcoholics can also avoid stimuli by making sure they don't have any alcohol in their homes. Self-administered satiation is a way to stop doing something by doing too much of it. When we do something too much, we feel uncomfortable, disgusted, or even sick, which makes us want to stop doing the bad thing. This method has been shown to work in programs that are meant to help people stop smoking. They smoke until the bad effects are too much to bear, which makes them want to stop. Aversive stimulation uses bad or scary things to get people to change their behavior. People who want to lose weight, for example, tell their friends and followers on social media about their plans. If they didn't reach their goals, they would feel like a failure, be embarrassed, and be criticized. These bad things happen to keep people committed and help them change their behavior. Self-reinforcement is all about giving ourselves rewards for doing good things. By setting goals or making promises, we can create rewards that encourage good behavior. For example, a teen who promises to get a certain grade point average or take care of a younger sibling might get concert tickets or new clothes as a prize. This method of self-reward encourages and keeps the desired behaviors going. Skinner's methods for self-control give us useful tools for changing how people act. Skinner's view of human nature stresses determinism, the value of the environment, and the role of society in making sure people have the best chance of surviving. But his work has been attacked because it takes a deterministic view, has simple experiments, and doesn't take into account the things that make humans different from animals. Now, we'll talk about some interesting things that have been learned about B.F. Skinner's behaviorism through study. These results show how important operant training is and how it can be used in different situations. Let's start with the amazing fact that conditioned reactions are hard to get rid of. Research has shown that the amount of reinforcement during training is directly linked to the strength of a conditioned reaction to extinction. In other words, the harder it is to get rid of a learned reaction, the more reinforcement it gets during the learning phase. This shows how reward has long-lasting effects on behavior. Operant training has shown that it can change many different kinds of behavior in both people and animals. Researchers have been able to change the behavior of a wide range of species by using operant training. Let me give you a funny example to show you what I mean. Even a lobster can be taught to do something. Studies have shown that operant training is a good way to change the way these crustaceans act. Researchers have been able to change their behavior by pairing certain stimuli with positive or negative feedback. This shows how flexible and useful the concepts of operant conditioning are. Skinner's ideas have also been used to look at how culture affects behavior. When researchers compared Japanese and American big league baseball players, they found some interesting similarities and differences. It was found that American players are more likely to do religious things than Japanese players. This shows that cultural issues can even affect how people act in professional sports. Self-control is an important part of behavior that has been studied a lot. Research has shown that college students with more self-control tend to do better in many different areas. These people do better in school, have a better way of dealing with their emotions, and have a higher opinion of themselves. This shows how important self-control is to a person's success and happiness in many ways. Based on Skinner's ideas, token economy programs have shown amazing success in reducing aggressive behavior in people with cognitive impairments. Researchers have found that patients who take part in token economy treatments are 79% less likely to act aggressively. This shows how well operant conditioning methods work in the real world, especially in clinical settings. In conclusion, these study results show that Skinner's behaviorism is still important and can be used in many different ways. Skinner's ideas have helped us understand a wide range of things, from the persistence of conditioned responses to the ability of different species to change their behavior and even how culture affects superstitions. We keep building on his work, learning more about behavior and how it can be used in many different areas. Remember that B.F. Skinner's legacy is still going strong as we study new areas of psychology. Let these finds make you want to learn more about how complicated human behavior is and how behaviorism could change our world.